What's up, Dominators? Welcome back to the ShiHai's channel, and today I present to you my Tachikaze premium deck recipe. So yes, this is a little bit different from the channel as I said before, my channel is actually focusing on standard, but yes, I decided to do a little bit of premium stuff. So here is the Tachikaze deck laid out for you in a new format. Basically the deck focuses on the new strike. We can see here Gluttony Neberos. And then this is basically the standard plus. I call it a standard plus because you are playing standard deck. The standard deck, just add in a little bit of G and the base series. So I will explain to you how the deck works and why is it so fun. And I've actually picked it up because I have the standard deck already lying around, not doing anything. So I just decided to upgrade it to premium and try it out. So let's go with the cards and the skills basically, and then later we'll go into depth why the deck is good and how it functions, and some skills and gameplay, a little bit of it. Alright, first off, let's go through the grade 3. So we're going to go through grade 3, grade 2, grade 1, grade 0 as usual. First we have of course the standard Ravenous Dragon Gigarex. So basically this is ideally what you want to ride into as a first ride if you cannot superior ride using this grade 3, we should get to later. Basically Gigarex in the V series is actually really strong. One of the best XL clans that can hit up magic numbers and really high powered numbers in terms of gauging your rear guards and getting 5k for each card that is on your rear guard. Yeah, so basically plus 5k for each rear guard. So and then you are able to put one card from the top of your deck face down as a quick gauge when it attacks. And then basically you ideally want to use it for the first skill. The second skill is you discard 5 quick gauge, 3 of your front row gains 5k, and then deal 1 damage to your opponent if your opponent's at 4 or less cards. So good first ride, and the best in terms of if you're going first, yes, and you want to let your opponent strike first, yes, this is obviously the best first ride. Moving on, we have Savage King. So reason why I run Savage King is obviously because of the Excel circle as well, but it works really well as a first ride as well if you're striding first, obviously. But basically rearguard skill only, continuous during your turn, it gains 5k for each equip gauge, and then when it attacks the Vanguard, you may move all equip gauges from one of your units all to this unit instead. So it generates the numbers that it's required in order to hit let's just say magic numbers or really high numbers, even if it's on the XL1 or XL2. So reason why you play 3 is because it really helps the deck a lot in terms of this pushing power. As you can see, we run stands in the deck, so if you actually do drive check into a stand and stand Savage King, it's really devastating. Moving on to the last grade 3 we run in the deck. It's a 10k base grade 3. It's a super old grade 3. It's called Chaos Dragon Dino Chaos. Yes, Dino Chaos. Basically this is why Tachikaze is really fun, as you can superior ride when your opponents are grade 1 and you're grade 3, so you can actually take the first strike. New premium strike rulings is basically if you are on grade 3 at the start of your turn, you are able to strike already no matter what grade your opponent Vanguard is. So continuous from hand, the skill, as you can see, is 10k base grade 3, which is not really good, but basically continuous hand, choose 2 of your Tachikaze rearguards, retire them. If you're grade 2 Vanguard, you may reveal this card, and then if you do, you write this card as stand. So basically, yes, you do write this card, and then from there is basically pretty simple. From then you just attack. Next turn you either ride into Gigarex or you ride into Savage King for the additional XL circle, and then you start striding and do your shenanigans from then on. So one of the reasons why this deck is really good is because of this card. It's a really old card, a BTO2 card, a BTO2 common, 10k base. So it allows you to superior ride when your opponent is grade 1. So ideally you want to go first, as you will most likely take the first strike using this card. Alright, moving on to the grade 2, we have Megarex. So I think this deck, as I said before, standard plus. Megarex is too good card to give up. When it attacks the Vanguards, you retire one of your rearguards, draw a card, and then if it's on the rearguard circle, compass on, you gauge it, and it gains 5k for each gauge at the end of the battle. So it's really good, especially when it's on XL circle and you need retiring power for, let's just say, Scatero. You can get it for your Lyceterax, your stand trigger, or basically any other unit that requires you to draw cards to gain advantage, and it's really good in the grade 2 game. So your grade 2 game in this scenario is really important. Ideally you want to have these 3 cards, but if you're going first, obviously you want to superior, right? So it's not really considered grade 2 turn, it's considered grade 3 turn already. But yeah, considering Mega Rex is too good of a card to give up, and plus this deck doesn't really use Counterblast a lot. The only 2 cards that actually use Counterblast are Mega Rex and Skatero, so that's one of the reasons why I run Skatero as well. We get to that later. Moving on, we have Savage Raider. The best card, and I think it's a staple in the deck, because on place, Rearguard Circle, you just immediately put one card from top, of your deck into face down as a Rearguard Circle onto the Rearguard Circle deck, and it's considered a gauge. And when it attacks the Vanguard, you may move any amount of gauges equipped to one Rearguard to another of your Rearguard, so it allows flexible movement of gauges around your field. And yeah, basically it allows you to +1 because of Gluttony Labor skill, and we'll get to that later. So ideally you want to run 4. Another old card from the set, we have Ravenous, not Ravenous Dragon, Cannon Fire Dragon Cannon Gear. 11k base, but it has a skill of Vanguard Rearguard where you proc it. On place, you choose one of your Rearguards and retire it, and then when this unit is boosted by a Tachikaze unit, it gains 2k at the end of turn. Reason why you run this is a really good grade 2 game. So if you don't have this card, Dino Chaos, and you, let's just say you're going second or you're going first, you wouldn't want to actually ride up, and you can just stay on this 11k base grade 2 unit. So if you have Rearguards to proc its skill, basically you can grade 1 rush your opponent using Lyceterax, and then grade 2 you can ride Cannon Gear, and the Cannon Gear skill states you need to retire 1 Rearguards, you retire Lyceterax, so +1 you draw a card. Same thing with Skatero, you can grade 1 rush with these 2 cards and then ride into Cannon Gear to allow that flexibility of retiring the Rearguard in order to gain advantage, gain hand size and gain cards back. So it's really good. And at the same time, if it's boosted by a Tachikaze unit, it's a 13k attacker, so why not, I guess. But yes, it's a really good card overall. Yes, so that's the grade 2 count. We run 11 grade 2s in the deck. Moving on to grade 1s, 12 grade 1s, pretty standard. First we have Sonic Nova from V-Series. Basically all these 3 cards are basically standard from V-Series. Sonic Nova, when boosting, you may put 1 card from the top of your deck into the boosted unit as a equip gauge. And then when attack hits, you may retire one of your other Rearguards and draw a card. So best grade 1 rush if you're attacking, if you're going second, is actually to ride Sonic Nova, call Lyceterax out, beat with Lyceterax, beat with Sonic Nova. If it passes, you may retire Lyceterax, draw 1 off Lyceterax skill, and then draw 1 off Sonic Nova skill. So it's basically a free +2 to your hand, and it refunds the cost of having Lyceterax on the field. Basically, Lyceterax skill is basically when placed, you may put the top card of your deck as a face down as a crit gauge for this unit, and then when it's retired from RC, so it's basically retired at any cost, whether it's on your turn or your opponent's turn, you may soul +1 and return 1 gauge equipped to this unit back to your hand, so it's a free net, yeah, of this unit. Last but not least, we got Wing Dragon Skatero. Reason why I run, as I said before, this deck doesn't require any counterblast at all. It's legit 0 counterblast cost except for these 2 cards. So Skatero is a way for you to actually utilize your counterblast. So when it's retired from RC during your turn only, so take note it's only during your turn, counterblast 1, return this card to your hand. So you can just call, very force call if you want to counterblast 1, return it back to your hand for reasons that you want to fill up the board or something, and you don't want to raise hand size off because of having Skatero on the field. Counterblast in this deck is basically almost free with only these 2 cards, and Skatero enables you to have that grade 1 rush, as I said before, with Cannon Gear. You riding into Cannon Gear as a second ride, you may retire it, Counterblast 1, return it back to hand, so it's a free unit to a free 10k shield and a free unit back to your current hand size. Last but not least, we got the trigger. So you can see the triggers, it's 4 draws, 4 crits, 4 stands, and 4 heals. Basically the 4 draws and 4 heals are necessary because the heals are for Gigads, the draws are your Sentinels. Crits, we run a new crits in the premium collection. As you can see, I got 4 of the hot sand crits. Basically, when your Vanguard attacks, you may suck this unit into your soul. Your Vanguard gains 10k until the end of the battle, and then you draw a card. So it basically fuels your soul for, let's just say, like Lyceterax, or yeah, basically only Lyceterax actually, and that's basically just Lyceterax, and maybe Gluttony Nebro's second skill, which you have to Soul Blast. So it's pretty interesting and pretty good. Last but not least, we got the necessary stand in the deck. This is what makes the decks really good. It's called Holele Magnum, if I'm not wrong. And then Generation Break 1, put this unit to the bottom of the deck. During your turn, when this unit is put from the drop zone from RC, you may pay the cost. If you do draw a card, choose one of your units, gain 5k until the end of the turn, and then shuffle your deck. So it doesn't have to be retired by Engorge skill and Engorge ability. It's just when it's retired from Rearguard Circle. So you can force call over it if you want, just to send it back to the deck, and then draw a card, and then choose one unit plus 5k shuffle. So it enables the stand in the deck for your, let's just say, Savage King or any other of your rearguards on board. Ideally, once you use Gluttony Nebro's skill, you ideally want to have at least one rearguard on board in case you check a stand trigger, because you do run stand in this deck, and the stands are, how you say, recyclable, in a sense where you can send them back to deck, keep sending them back to deck, and then shuffle, draw one. And yeah, essentially getting 6 drives of Gluttony Nebro's skill. Alright, so that's basically the deck, the main deck as a whole. So now we're gonna go into the G zone. G zone, we run 4 of the new Unrivaled Ruler, Gluttony Nebros. Ideally, the game would end at around the second or third one where you use Gluttony Nebros. There are games where I end when first write Gluttony Nebros, and in terms of how many triggers you actually check, because it grants you 6 drive checks. So basically, the first skill, as you can see, got one hot stem right here. It looks really nice. First skill, Engorge. When it becomes second skill, when it becomes Engorge, choose 2 of your opponent rearguards, retire them. You pay the cost of turning a card of your G zone face up and put a total of 5 equipped gauge or rearguards into a drop zone, and then you stand this unit. So it's really good. So continuing on, sorry, I keep saying so, but when attacking, you engorge this unit, put up to 5 equipped gauge or rearguards into a drop zone, and then stand this unit. So it's essentially 6 drives, as you don't lose drive checks at all. Second skill is basically act G zone. If this card face up, so +1, put the top card of your deck face down as a equipped gauge to one of your rearguards, and it becomes engorged under the end of turn. Doesn't really matter for the second skill. It grants you a free gauge, basically, so that you don't have to force call from hand, and grants the skill of you getting free pluses onto the field. So as I said before, when attacking, if you retire 5 either gauges or 5 rearguards combined together, and then you stand this unit for free. So free pluses are considered like Savage Raider. When you on place, you gain 1 gauge already. Sonic Nova, just boosting, gain 1 gauge. Lyceterax, you on place, it gains 3 gauge as well. And then you can use it as a cost for your stand trigger, which goes back to deck, draws you a card. Or you can use for Skytero's skill, where you engorge it for the cost of engorging. You may count +1 and return it back to your hand when you pay the cost. So it's basically essentially 6 drives, and most of the time it will be free, so it's a free hand plus towards your hand card size. And then ideally, it's the only strat you actually ever want to go into, other than the GB8, in which we get to later. So other rest of the units in this G zone right here is actually flip fodder. If your opponent decides to grade 2 strat stall, you ideally want to go to Sabris. As I said before, the deck doesn't really use much counterblast, so you can just go into Sabris as a cost of our counterblast 2 if you really want to take the first strike, which is important because most of your stuff, especially your stand trigger, activates at GB1, so you're free to go into Sabris. This card is basically actually the GB8. I proxied it because I don't really have it, and it's pretty hard to find. But for terms of G guards, you run the best FC G guard right here called Bluish Primer. Generation Break 1 shows face down G guard from G zone to face up. When this unit plays on Garden Circle, if you do, this unit gains 5k until the end of the battle for each of your open circles. So depending, most of the time you gauge all of your regards at the start of your Gluttony Nebro's skill, so that you don't have to worry about having the low G guard count for your next turn where you're guarding for your opponent. So you run 2. You can run this card as well. It's called Blockade Ganga. choose one of the rear guards and retire it. When it's placed on guarded circle, you pay the cost. This unit gain 10k, and then choose 2 of the rear guards. At the end of turn, they get the auto skill. When this unit is retired, return this card back to your hand instead of going to the drop zone. It's pretty okay. It only works if you actually have a lot of rear guards on field. But most of the time, as I said before, you'll be engorging for the skill of Nebero, so you won't get the chance to actually use these 2 rear guards because you will want to flip up for the other Giga Bluish Primer. Dismail, because why not? If you really want to save the rear guard on the field, and let's just say you drive check a damage trigger and some of your opponent's rear guards are unable to hit your Vanguard, so you may just go into Dismail just to target that 1 rear guard on the field. If you don't want it to be retired, because it's sometimes really important. You can target Savage King, really important rear guard on the field on your turn, because you just check the stand with gauges on this unit is really scary. And then last but not least, we got the GB8, in which I'm XD in the skill. So it's called Destruction Tyrant Volcano Tyranno. Basically engorge. When this unit attacks, you may retire one of your rear guards here, and then it becomes engorge. The skill of the GB8, when your rear guard is retired, choose up to 1 of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, choose 1 of the rear guards, and that unit and this unit gains 10k at the end of turn. So this is basically the skill, and it stacks with the stand trigger. So there's basically a loop per se where you can get infinite power, but it requires you to have 4 stand triggers left in your deck, and your deck is thoroughly thinned out due to engorging and you drawing, draft checking and all that. So there's a loop with infinite power, unless your opponent has 2 Kanzens or maybe even more depending on your draft checks, because you only have 4 of the stand triggers left in your deck. You obviously would, you know, keep draft checking stand, so probably 3 Kanzens or maybe more. You ideally just win the game outright, because there is an infinite loop combo, which I'm not too sure actually, because I have never experienced it before. Most of the time the game ends with you having to just go into Neberos and then just end your opponent off with the 6 damage, with the 6 draft checks that you actually draft checks off. And then building up hand size in this deck is not a problem. While this deck is pretty consistent, there are counters such as Greydora where they lock your column, so it's a bit hard for you to generate the 5 engorged rear guards, and having rear guards on the field after using Nebero skill is pretty hard. But against other decks like Lua and Morfessa, all that, I think they're pretty okay. Didn't really test this deck much because, as I said before, I'm still focusing on standard. So ideally in this deck, you ideally want to go to XL2 if your hand is really bad. Most of the time I just go XL2, so these are actually the XL1 markers, but yeah, I ideally proxy them for XL2 right here. But yeah, that's basically the deck as a whole. I don't think I really need to show you much of the combos actually, because it's pretty much straightforward. Just call your rear guards, attack with them first, then when your Vanguard attacks engorge, you retire 5 plus 1 basically, so it's 5 either rear guards or gauges, and then after that plus an additional 1 to make this unit engorged. So then after that you just stand this unit and it's no minus drives at all, so it's free, so-called free, depending on how much rear guards and gauges you decide to retire. Yeah, that's basically that. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys liked it. So sorry for the delay in videos, because apparently my videos got so corrupted as the file of all my standard, including Aqua Force videos, which I planned out with my friends, and I recorded gameplay of that with deck fights, and it doesn't work because the file is legit just corrupted, and I can't really post it because it'll look really weird. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys like it. I'll try to solve the issue. I think I already solved the issue of it having glitching out and all that, with the file being corrupted, but hope you guys stay tuned. I'll be posting more standard stuff, but this is the one of the first or second videos premium I actually posted. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys liked it. This is ShiHai, and I'm out. Peace.